Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
Welcome aboard. We are your weekend guide here over the Thanksgiving weekend to tell you about what you should listen to, what you should watch.
And this is what you should be doing to calm yourself down after the Black Friday crap fest.
The tryptophan has worn off.
Life is back to normal.
Football is gone until Sunday.
Leaves are being raked. Christmas decorations are going up.
So let Dave and I tell you what we have done and what we will do and what we have watched and what we will listen to get you through the next couple weeks of the holiday season. First and foremost,
music.
We did not get to tape our usual podcast episode last week.
No, because we were in Grand Rapids at the intersection for Sebastian Bach performing Slave to the Grind, Skid Row's album on the 30th anniversary. Wow, 30 years. Holy crap.
With Kaleido, very good
Kaleido
opening
is
band.
the opener. Wow, they were phenomenal.
Yeah, this was a fun night because we ate at a new place. We had never been to the intersection before.
Nope.
We had never seen Kaleido before, and it had been a long time. What, 8 years, 9 years since we've seen Sebastian
8 or 9
Bach?
since we'd seen Sebastian. And Kaleido was really damn good. A new up-and-coming hard rock band. Very good musically. The lead singer,
Christina Chris.
yes, very easy on the eyes. And man, she can scream. She can carry a tune. And damned if when she gets into it doesn't get the psycho face going.
Did you mention she was easy on the eyes?
I believe I did.
I think you should mention it again. She had some kind of a crazy, nice outfit on.
Yeah, she had the good girl gone bad vibe going, and but very good music.
Oh yeah, they were great musically. It was.
You were just enthralled with her outfit.
God, I was enamored with her. Yeah, that is the type of woman I wish I'd met when I was 20 years younger. Oh my Lord, she was just phenomenal. Yeah, the band was great. Kaleido was fantastic. Awesome opening band. It got to be one of the better opening bands we've ever seen.
By far, not being a name band,
right?
But just for an up and coming, they were phenomenal.
Right.
I would love to see them again.
Yep.
It was kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
Like the Black Moods. Like seeing the Black Moods.
Yeah, open for Roger Clyne.
Yep. Dave's got his Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers tour shirt on, so that's what made me think of that. If it wasn't for the crowd.
Yeah, patchouli stinking mother.
At that show, yeah, that would have been near perfect between the Black Moods and Roger Clyne and the Peacemakers. But that's the kind of band I would think of comparing to Kaleido. One of those opening acts, like you said, not a name act,
not a name that you know
something from,
right? But that you could see big things, and hopefully we hear more from them.
Great stage presence, just competent, tight. You know, the songs are good.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I like the last song they did, Panic in a Pandemic, the best.
Oh, yeah. That was really good. Really good one to close it out.
Yep. But, of course, then we move on to Sebastian Bach, former lead singer of Skid Row. I was happy to see that he has not ignored his legacy. He is embraced it now.
Yeah, there was a time where he was bitter about the separation that took place, and we weren't exactly sure what we were going to get, what Sebastian was going to be like. But damn, he was fun.
Well, I think the thing that sold it for me was you. When you told me something that really hit home after we were walking out of the concert, and you said, I love to see the performer having fun and smiling and joking and looking like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Because how many concerts have we gone to see
where they're just phoning it in?
Right. And Cheap Trick comes to mind.
Yeah. This was a small venue, and we've been to small venues before where the bands have just played and done the bare minimum and gone out. This Sebastian really loved being there with the crowd, being able to perform again. He was interacting with everybody, calling people out for continually videotaping. He called somebody out for doing the whole FaceTime thing. He was having fun.
He was saying what we've always said. Put the phone down, enjoy the goddamn concert.
Yeah, but just the whole night, he was cracking jokes, interacting, telling stories, and you could tell he had missed performing during the pandemic, and he relished being back on the road.
And he grew up much more than when we saw him the last time.
Yeah.
There's no, immature crotch grab on stage antics. He was much more mature, much more grounded, funnier. Of course, like you said, if I'm making jokes like this, kids, that means that I'm having fun.
Yeah.
And the whole MTV medley where
going back to Headbangers Ball.
Went back and he was talking about with the Carson Daly Total Request or whatever that show was.
Yeah.
And what number
you phoned in all day and you got home. Who won?
So he did medley. He did a little medley of Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and AC/DC. And, and then, of course, the highlight of the whole night was when they did Monkey Business.
Oh,
and then in the middle of Monkey Business, they went and did Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, that was beautiful. A tribute to Rush. And he did a fantastic job paying homage to the rockers that we lost.
Everybody.
And,
Eddie, Neil Peart. It was.
We had low expectations.
Right, because of what we'd seen before.
Yeah.
And again, he far exceeded. I was ecstatic walking out of this concert. I was on cloud 9. This was far better than I could have ever hoped for. This was 3.5 frenzies.
Exactly. For sure. This was solid 3.5.
Upper echelon. I mean, this was fun beyond belief.
It was very enjoyable. The set list was
perfect, with the covers. And then, of course, I hate to say it was better without his solo stuff, but we were there.
It was better without his solo stuff.
We were there for the Skid Row show. Right. And he picked every single freaking Skid Row song perfectly.
That needed to be done.
Yes.
He did the whole Slave to the Grind and hit the other hits, and it was the perfect set list.
With the covers, oh my God, it was fantastic. Again, as Dave said, better than we could have possibly imagined. 3.5. Keeping the positive vibe going this year with our concerts that we've seen coming out of the pandemic fog.
Yes, we have not had a bad one yet.
Nope, we still got some more coming.
We've got a back-to-back this holiday weekend.
I think we might have a double review for you next week.
Yes, we will have our now back on again annual after Thanksgiving Jackal family reunion and an evening with Billy Idol to report on next week.
Yes. So, and then of course Steel Panther will be coming a couple weeks later.
That's going to be an intriguing show.
So, we're still trying to keep you kids informed.
Get out and enjoy your live music, kids.
All right, couple songs that we reviewed this past week.
Yep. Should we start with the fix?
We shall. I think I might have mentioned this last week when I was doing the solo show.
Wake Up.
Yep.
Listening to this one, the way it started out, I thought, wait, am I listening to Nirvana? With the whole guitar riff, the way it started.
It's a very sludgy riff. Very sludgy riff. Yep.
But it picked up. It was very mellow. It's kind of something you could listen to in the background while you're doing something. And it wasn't over the top great, but it was decent. I give it 2.5.
I am a Fix guy. I always liked the Fix in the 80s. You're right though. This is not one of those top level, top echelon Fix songs. It's not. Nobody's expecting another One Thing Leads to Another.
No.
But get me Blue Skies at Night. Get me, something like that. Driven Out. So it was intriguing to me.
It was almost a little different from what you would expect.
I liked it enough where I want more.
I would like to hear more.
Yeah. I go three frenzies on it, just because I like the Fix's sound. I like the fact they always try to do different.
To me, there was too much Nirvana in there.
Yeah, you've got to really get into their sound. They're independent, they're new wave, they're poppy, they're rocky. They are a band where they bring all these different sounds together, and you've either got to be into it or you're not.
Right.
And for the most part, I always was, just because they're different to me. That's what I like about them. They're different, they're unique.
Yeah, I could listen to them easy, but I didn't necessarily go out of my way to do so.
Right. And they never put together. I'm not trying to make them sound like the be all end all. They never put together one solid cohesive album. Reach the Beach was close, but there were always clunkers in there.
Right.
They're one of those bands that could give
they
you
could never,
4 or 5 good
They could
songs.
never pull a full album together to put themselves to that level where they needed to go.
Right. But again, I love their sound so much that I'd like to hear more from this newest.
I would like to see what else this album is going to bring.
Yeah. And we also had our man Billy F Gibbons.
Yep.
Of ZZ Top.
Doing his Christmas Jingle Bell Blues. His take on the classic Jingle Bells. This one was intriguing. I love the guitar work on it. To me, the tempo felt a little slow. It should have been a little more upbeat than what it was. And his vocals nailed the bluesy parts for it perfectly, but it's still the tempo on it was lacking. And so for me, that's why I'm going to give it 2.5. And it's worth a listen for you diehard ZZ fans, but it's not one of the great remakes.
Yeah, I'm with Dave on this. And I was all on board. The last album he put out, which we reviewed months ago,
phenomenal.
Hardware was just a great album. Great album. Yeah, I am tired of the Christmas. Everybody's got to do Christmas stuff now. We talked about Billy Idol's got a Christmas album out now. Rob Thomas has got a Christmas album out. That's just this year. We're not talking about years past
where Twisted Sister did Twisted Christmas.
Right.
Monsters of Rock had all the hair bands doing their Christmas stuff.
It's fine if you want to. I'll tell you what, if you want to do original Christmas songs, go for it.
Right.
But I don't need to hear all these bands doing Jingle Bells, all these bands doing White Christmas. Enough is enough.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine when what was it? Billy Idol did his Christmas thing with Dad sleeping in the Christmas tree. You had who was it? The King's Father Christmas. Give me some money.
Yeah, but that was a little subversive, though.
It was, but
because
still,
it's basically talking about mugging.
Well, yeah, but come on, it's still something different.
Yeah, there are great Christmas songs out there.
Mistress for Christmas.
There are great Christmas songs out there. Nobody's saying there's not. But I want original Christmas songs.
Yeah, I don't want necessarily...
Billy Squire, greatest Christmas song ever. Billy Squire. Christmas is the time to say I love you.
There you go.
That's his song on MTV. Kicked ass. Hands down, my favorite.
There you go.
It's got a little bit of the rock vibe. It's got a little bit of the traditional vibe. This is not one of those. No, I agree with you. It's sludgy. It's slow. The guitar work at the end is pretty good. I won't even be as generous as you are with this. I'll go 2 frenzies.
There you go.
It does kind of in some ways feel like a lazy knockoff.
Yeah, it's not a solid outing.
Yeah. Which is disappointing because I could see if Billy Gibbons put together an entire album of Christmas covers with the guitar, how some of those could end up being pretty nasty and, but yeah, this just
it was a slog. It was a slog.
Yeah. Didn't quite seem like he had his heart in it.
No.
I don't want to say money grab, but yeah, no, pass on this one.
Yeah, unless you're, like I said, unless you're an absolute true diehard, you can pass.
And we'll see in a couple weeks after Dave and I partake of Billy Idol. We'll see if maybe closer to Christmas we review the Billy Idol Christmas album.
It could happen.
Especially considering the fact there's not that much more out there. So
coming up. Yeah.
So we could be getting desperate here for a month or 2.
It's a possibility, kids.
All right. So next week, Dave and I are talking about listening to the new Robert Plant and Alison Krauss album, Raise the Roof, since we did love.
We talked about the first single, Raise the Roof.
So we're going to see how the whole album plays out. I know it's not our normal cup of tea. It's a little bit bluegrass, a little bit more mellow than we would normally review here for you. But
we have been known to step out of our usual comfort zone.
We have to do that.
There's some lines we won't cross, but some that we will.
Of course, we have Volbeat coming up in a couple weeks, too.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one.
Yep. So when we get that one, that's a review we're going to be putting out there as soon as we can.
Yeah. Actually, Ghost has one out this year that we should probably take a look at. I'll have to get the name of that one for you. Because was it February, I think it is, me and the family are going to see Ghost and Volbeat together.
Right. Yep, you'll have a review of that one. I will not be partaking. Every once in a great while, the maestro does sit out a concert, believe it or not, that we're going to listen to a bunch of demos from the expanded Destroyer release from Kiss. Songs like Rock and Roll's Royce, Mad Dog, and Night Boy. We might do that one just as a general overview, just not necessarily song by song, but what we think of the demos.
The demos overall,
right?
Yeah.
The stuff that never got released, that never got put out there.
Should they have been put on a separate album or not?
And I've told you that's always been my complaint, is that if you're going to put out one of these massive 10 CD re-releases, we tattoo you recently with the Rolling Stones. Now we've got Destroyer with Kiss. If you have a CD's worth of demos or B-sides, unreleased tracks, just put them out there so we can buy them
Put it
and
out as
listen
a
to them.
$10 to $15 disc and not charge us buku frickin' money grab stuff to get this.
To get the same
The
album we
extra
already
stuff
have. Right.
With, yeah. I hate
inserts
that.
and look at the little mini concert posters in there.
Yeah, guess what? I don't need all that bullshit.
No.
I just want the
music. We want the music. Other songs we might be looking at in the coming weeks, although I don't think Dave would be really excited about these, are Aerosmith's 71 demo of Moving Out. In this one, I know he's just going to curl his nose up at. Eddie Vedder's second single off his solo album is called The Haves. So we'll see. That could be a solo Maestro review.
I'll listen to it.
I don't think you're going to like it.
I probably won't. But I'll listen to it and give it a chance.
That's what I love about him. He is so open-minded.
But there are some fucking lines I will never cross again.
He even went to see Dave Matthews Band with
Worst
me.
fucking concert night of my life.
All right, couple other music notes before we wrap up segment 1 here on the weekend edition. Of course, as you all know, the Beatles 6-hour Get Back Peter Jackson concert autobiography film coming out on Disney Plus over Thanksgiving weekend. I find it funny that Peter Jackson has the clout to go to Disney and say, you don't get to edit this, because the Beatles were dropping F-bombs left and right.
Right.
During this final segment, this final part of their career, when they were doing Let It Be. So Disney Plus, who has always said, this is a bastion for family-oriented content.
Exactly.
No cursing, no swearing allowed. They've even edited some of their older stuff that they've put on there.
To make it more PC friendly.
Now, because Peter Jackson has this clout, you want this Beatles 6-hour documentary?
Guess what?
You're going to take it as it is, or you're not going to get it. So now Disney Plus has decided you can go ahead and drop the F-bomb.
You know, I am so sick of all this bullshit backhanded. We're not going to do it until it's time for a big money grab.
Yeah.
I hate the rat.
The rat.
I hate the rat.
The rat is the definition of hypocrisy. They really are. They really are. If money's involved, they will bow down.
Or they're just going to skew the shit out of everything.
Yep. Now, will I watch this? Yes, I will, because as much as we talk about the fact the Beatles are overrated, I admire and acknowledge their place in rock and roll history.
I do, but I might eventually watch it if someday I actually give the rat my money.
I already have. So I reviewed Black Widow last week. That was my solo review. Next week, I might actually review Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're both suffering from colds here, so if you haven't noticed.
Little congesty and coffee.
But yeah, I am actually looking forward to this. And it's almost like I just want to hope and pray. It's like I'm hoping for like a WWE analogy, where I'm hoping for some reason, somehow, Paul and Ringo and George just tag team on John and beat the shit out of him. Because we all know John was the most overrated piece of crap in the band.
Exactly.
The hippy dippy.
He was the reason they broke up, not Paul.
Well, it could have been Yoko. But that was technically on John.
Exactly.
John for being an idiot and falling for Yoko. Nobody's ever saying Ringo was the most talented, but at least he knew his place. Paul and George
were the driving force.
Yes.
By far the most talented of the group.
Yep. Finally, are the Grammys finally starting to get their asses together? Figuring out that maybe we're tired
of cancel
of
culture.
The same old crap.
They don't know what
Mammoth
the
WVH nominated for a Grammy for Distance, Best Rock Song of the Year.
We can only hope. See, now I was going to call him out for some hypocrisy.
Wow, okay.
Because, of course, country singer Morgan Wallen, one of the best-selling albums of the year, because he was caught uttering a racial slur, is not being acknowledged at all. But yet, up for Grammys are Louis C.K.,
oh, Jesus,
Dave Chappelle, Marilyn Manson, and producer Dr. Luke, who have all had their issues over the last year and a half, 2 years, with shit they've said and done. Now, I will give Chappelle, he never should have had any issues, but Louis C.K. is a douchebag beyond belief. Marilyn Manson is an asshat who should be in jail at this point. And Dr. Luke, I'm not sure what the whole deal with him is.
Good points, because I agree with you completely. I watched, remember when Louis C.K. had that show on FX?
Oh my God, I watched one episode. It was fucking stupid.
It was disgusting. It was filthy. It was stupid.
I never understood why anybody thought he was funny.
And we've all heard, like you said, the accusations against Marilyn Manson. This is Hollywood hypocrisy, is what it is.
Yep, it's all coming back around.
Yeah, the only reason I was bringing up the Grammys was because not only with getting Wolfgang getting a Grammy nomination for, obviously, the great tribute to his father with Distance, was they finally acknowledged AC/DC this year. Multiple nominations for AC/DC. And, of course, the Foo Fighters. Multiple nominations. So, at least they're trying, maybe, sort of, to get rock and roll, kind of, maybe, back in.
Guess what? I'm still not watching it.
Oh, no, I'm not watching it either. No, God, no. God, no. Nobody's saying we're watching the Grammys. No, we're not reviewing the broadcast. And the Morgan Wallen thing you bring up is really interesting to me, because he gets boycotted, banned from all these different places, all these award shows, all these video outlets. Yet the minute they do it, his album skyrockets, and Billboard can't help but acknowledge the fact
sales
that
and
the sales are through the roof. Sometimes the people see, understand, and look through the hypocrisy. Sometimes the people are smarter than the idiots in New York and California.
That doesn't take much.
No. So we'll see where this goes.
Yep, who knows? We'll touch base on it again at some point. All right. On to the next.
Yeah, I think next we shall talk about the big Netflix release from the last couple weeks. Already on the verge of becoming the #1 streaming movie of all time on Netflix. That would be Red Notice. So you're on notice to stick around for segment 2. We'll be right back.
Now that we've let you into Frenzy Club, here are 3 rules. 1. you don't talk about Sports Frenzy 2.0. You listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all other major podcast hosts. Two guys to a show. Kev and Dave, the Maestro and the Conquistador. 3, one Sports Frenzy episode at a time. Until Saturday, when you get the weekend edition. Now get in there and let loose on some PC wussbags, will ya?
Hey kids, welcome back to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. Here dropping on Small Business Saturday, November 27th. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
And the Maestro Kevin Crane.
And here we're giving you our movie reviews for this week, starting off with Red Notice.
Yes, the big blockbuster $200 million reported budget for this Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds action extravaganza.
See, now I went Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, Dwayne Johnson.
Well,
you went in order of how much money that was paid out to who.
Yeah, see, if I had to go in order of how I care about them, I would go Ryan Reynolds, long pause, long pause, long pause, Gal Gadot,
even
long
longer
pause,
pauses,
Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, this is a movie, when I watched it, I was from about 2/3 of the way through, I was kind of into it in terms of it was a kind of fun 80s romancing the stone Indiana Jones type thing, and then the last half hour lost me completely. It went too far. It was too cheesy at points, too predictable, too formulaic. It was fun. It was not a waste of my time.
No, the three of them actually had really good chemistry on screen. It worked.
Yeah, I guess.
Gal Gadot she was kind of the weak link in the film.
I don't like Gal Gadot. I just don't. I think she's overrated as an actress. She's okay.
She's like Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
She had that vibe where
I
liked the character, but the way she portrayed it, there was just something off.
I think Gal Gadot's going to end up being a one-trick pony in that she's going to be Wonder Woman and that she's not going to be able. It's going to be like Sean Connery, where Sean Connery had to fight to break that James Bond stereotype. Now, Sean Connery had the acting chops to do it. Gal Gadot does not. So I don't think Gal Gadot is going to be long for the acting biz. Sorry to say it.
Yeah. But we knew the chemistry was going to be there for Reynolds and Johnson based on their prior work together.
Well, Reynolds, I got to believe Reynolds
can work with anybody.
I was going to say, he seemed like and I'm sure there's going to be something come out in 5 years to contradict us completely and say Reynolds is a pedophile. And he's done everything possible. Even though Ryan Reynolds right now is the most likable, most fun actor out there. He is what makes Red Notice work to a point. And I don't know if they write these scripts for him or if he jumps in and he puts these lines in.
How much does he ad-lib?
Because the script seems like it fits him.
It does, and I'm sure he gets a lot of leeway.
He's got to be able to ad-lib, like you said, or fill in the blanks. They say you just riff where you want, when you want.
This is the scene. This is where
because
we're going.
Ryan Reynolds
go with it.
Some of these lines are just so funny and so off the cuff. He was the star of this to me. Ryan Reynolds was the star of this,
and it revolved around his character.
I said, I wasn't a big fan of Gal Gadot, and again, if I'm gonna be misogynist. I'm going to be a pig. I'm going to say that there's something about Gal Gadot. If you watch her in terms of beauty, in terms of, let's be honest, let's be completely and totally forthright and honest here. If we're going to watch Hollywood actresses, for the most part, we want them to be beautiful. We want them to be voluptuous, right?
I want them to be able to act and portray what they are doing.
But Gal Gadot, number one, she ain't as voluptuous as everybody thinks she is. If you watch this movie, you can see in multiple scenes where
the red dress is not filled out the way that it could have been.
Thank you, Dave. That's why we work so well together as a team. He fills in my blanks. I just, the Israeli accent doesn't do anything for me. I got tired of it in Wonder Woman. Now I'm getting tired of it in this. I just, something about her drives, and everybody knows, I'm not just going to rip on Gal Gadot. Everybody knows how I feel about Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson is he's
a whore of the film industry. He will do anything.
Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. And I can't name one goddamn movie that he has been the star of, the forefront actor for, that I have loved. Was he okay in the Fast and Furious movies? Hobbs and Shaw.
But Statham was the mainstay in Hobbs and Shaw, and Reynolds was that secondary offshoot character that pulled it together.
So Dwayne Johnson always will be a negative to me going in. I'm sorry. He will. The minute I see his name on the credits going into a movie, I'm knocking it down a notch, because he has never shown to me he is better than. It's like when I see John Cena.
Oh God.
In Suicide Squad.
Ugh.
I'm sorry. I'm a hypocrite. I do watch wrestling, but they're not actors outside of wrestling. They're actors when they're wrestling. I don't want to see them
in movies.
I really don't. I don't want to see Stone Cold. I don't want to see The Rock. I don't want to see John Cena. Dave Bautista might be the only one.
He's done enough that he's got better acting chops.
Sorry.
You gonna live? Put that half lung back in.
I get verklempt about Dave Bautista. That's how passionate I am about him. We've talked about this earlier. Both Dave and I are under the weather this week, so we're fighting and we're struggling to get through this week for you. So that's how devoted we are.
That with a little help from a couple of adult beverages.
It dulls the senses. It dulls the pain. But I don't like these wrestlers as actors. It never works. It doesn't pan out. The other one would be Roddy Piper in They Live.
Oh, that was a phenomenal
I came here.
B-rated flick.
I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm
all out of bubble gum.
One of the greatest lines in motion picture history. John Carpenter's They Live.
Yep. Roddy Piper and David Keith.
Yep.
Or was it Keith David? I can never remember.
Nobody's going to hold that one
Keith
against
David,
you,
I believe it was.
Nobody's going to hold that one against you.
But he was also in The Thing.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And that's another John Carpenter classic. The greatest horror movie of all time. Yes. In my opinion.
I'm with you there. But back to Red Notice.
Yeah, that's one of our classic Sports Frenzy asides, tangents that we love.
Yes.
I will
Final ranking.
2.5 frenzies. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But at the end, I just kept going, okay, are we trying to be Indiana Jones? Are we trying to be Entrapment? Are we trying to be a Bond movie? It just never found its focus. It tried to be an amalgam of too many types of movies, too many genres. And at the end, the twist ending, I was just kind of like, oh, come on. Come on. You know, and it wasn't like one of those where I went, oh, I should have seen that coming. I was just like, that's just stupid. Come on. So 2.5 frenzies for being entertaining. That's it.
Yeah, the surprise thing at the end kind of lost me there. So I will go 2.5 as well. But this, it's worth watching. It's fun. If you got a family, 13 and up, I think would be the appropriate age range.
Well, yeah, because now you get the one F-bomb,
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds drops it at the perfect time.
He does. But, you know, it's one you can watch with your kids 12, 13 up. You can watch it with grandparents, great-grandparents. It's one of those fun little romps that everybody can enjoy.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to rip it apart and say it's not fun. It is a very enjoyable movie. It's not going to take up, it's 2 hours. Take up 2 hours of your time. It's fun. You got 3 likable actors, 3 likable characters.
There's enough action to make you enjoy it. There's enough comedy to keep you laughing.
But you're just going to sit there and you're going to go, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. I've seen that before. The music even.
Yeah.
They try to replicate James Bond, Indiana Jones. I mean, it's basically a template for an amalgam of all these 80s action movies, adventure movies that we've all seen and that we all love, put together in one.
Yeah.
So
it's an enjoyable ride, but it's not spectacular.
I won't watch it again. It's a one-time only ride. Yep.
And you know they're going to have a second one.
Yeah. Yeah, they set that up. Yeah.
You know there's going to be a Red Notice too, so just get ready for it.
Here's my question. We got time. Let me bounce this off of you. So the projected budget for this movie was $200 million. How the hell do they make that back? I mean, how do you make that money back selling it to Netflix? And how does Netflix, if Netflix paid that much to buy the rights to it, how does Netflix justify?
I don't know, because Netflix does not put their movies out on DVD. Right. So at what point are they going to have, do that many people subscribe?
Right. So like we talked about, good example would be Black Widow. We talked about how the fact that Disney pulled that weird, we'll put it out in theaters, but you can buy it on Disney Plus for $30. And then they put it out now on Blu-ray and digital and DVD. So that you're, like you said, great point. They're making that money on the back end.
Right.
But like you said, Netflix has really been hesitant to put anything out on DVD over the last couple years. They're not bringing in that many more new subscribers, do you think?
I have no idea how
Red
they're pulling
Notice
this
is coming out on Netflix. I'm going to subscribe just for Red Notice?
I don't think so. I don't know.
To make up $200 million?
Or are they the one streaming service that most people are not cutting and bouncing around with?
See, I don't know. And I have to admit, I'm guilty of that. I did bounce back to Netflix because we wanted to watch this, plus we wanted to watch The Harder They Fall.
Right.
A few weeks back. I might drop it again.
Yeah.
So maybe they're onto something, but
I
just don't see how you justify buying a movie with a $200 million budget.
Those big flicks, you would think they would have to put it out on DVD at some point, because not everybody is going to pay for streaming services.
Well, and the thing is, people don't realize we're smart. We're smart.
We like to think so.
DVDs cost next to nothing to produce. Blu-rays cost next to nothing to produce. We go out there and we think we're getting a deal buying a Blu-ray for $10. It costs them like
10
75
cents.
cents. Between the packaging,
Yeah.
the production of the
It's
Blu-ray,
under $1.
they are making massive amounts of profit on DVDs and Blu-rays. So like Dave said, why wouldn't you put that stuff out? The Punisher, great example on Netflix. 2 seasons of The Punisher. I know 4 people personally
that have watched it.
that would probably go out and buy the Blu-ray
Yeah.
of The Punisher if Netflix would ever put it out.
Because it's not going to be on Netflix forever.
No. And Marvel, now that they're owned by the Rat,
will never.
It's too intense for Disney
he's
Plus.
Not politically correct.
None of the Netflix stuff would actually fit into what Disney
Jessica
Plus
Jones,
is doing.
No. Luke Cage, no. Daredevil, no.
Right. So what does that mean? They're going to push that off onto FX, Hulu?
Who knows?
But I'm with you. You make a great point. Put the stuff out on DVD. It doesn't cost you anything.
No, you're going to make more off of it. And then you can put that back into other things without raising your subscription rate monthly.
You're so stupid. We should be running all these companies. Really. We should.
We should just be running the world, let's face it.
All right. I want to give you one more movie note before we break off and go into TV and streaming in our last segment, where we will look at The Great and the Glorious, Psych 3.
This is Gus.
But I know you would be looking forward to this. This movie news broke this week. This is something I thought right away. Dave is going to be ecstatic about this. This is going to just grind his gears. He's going to be so happy. Martin Scorsese is doing a Grateful Dead biopic. Jonah Hill is going to be playing Jerry Garcia.
Who gives a rat's ass?
I wanted to talk about this because...
My God, what the hell is Scorsese thinking with this?
But here's the thing I want to talk about.
Why are we talking about the dead?
What have you and I missed? What the hell has happened where I get the Beatles, I get the Stones, I get the Who, I get the Doors, I get Led Zeppelin, I get the fanatical fan bases behind all those bands. Who the hell are you people out there, you deadheads, who like this crap that the Grateful Dead puts out?
It's the same people who like Dave fucking Matthews.
No, don't you say that.
Did you look at most of the damn crowd that was there?
I'm kind of giving you a half-ass joke there because I don't... Dave Matthews is not even close to being as popular as the Grateful Dead.
But it's the same type of mindset.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, how many people follow Buffett?
Pearl Jam, Yeah, I know, but I'd almost rather see a biopic about Jimmy Buffett than I would about the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I know.
How many songs? Here, look at it this way. How many songs do we know from Jimmy Buffett?
A crap ton.
But literally, heartfelt songs. You can think of a dozen off the top of your head. How many Grateful Dead songs do you know?
3.
Thank you. And I'd probably go one less than you. I'd probably go 2. Where does the appeal for the Grateful Dead come from? I don't get it.
Because we're not token deadheads.
Oh, Jesus, that can't be the...
I don't know. It's...
All I can think of is Truckin' and Touch of Grey.
And don't forget Casey Jones.
That's not even ringing a bell with me. That's not even ringing a bell with me. That should tell you something.
But
Trucking down the new. Jesus Christ. One of the most overrated bands ever. And they get their own biopic.
But then people are going to lambaste us for being metalheads.
Okay, so when do we get our Ozzy Osbourne?
We already got
Biopic.
Dirt.
Oh, on Netflix. This is going to be a big budget Hollywood production.
Oh, screw that crap. We don't need that bullshit.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what's disgusting about this, is that the Grateful Dead warrant Martin Scorsese as a director, where Motley Crue gets a Netflix biopic. It upsets me. I'm sorry, it upsets me greatly because I can find more Motley Crue fans out there than I can Grateful Dead fans. And don't tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to argue. I don't get it.
Drop us a line. Tell us
what are we missing?
Why you're a Grateful Dead fan. I don't get it. Dave doesn't get it. Please explain it to us.
I've tried listening. It doesn't work.
Oh, God. We're going to come back with something
I will
much
listen
more...
to Pink Floyd before...
Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! It's like a matter...
Am I wrong?
Matter and antimatter meeting.
Am I wrong?
If you put me in a dark room and deprive me of food and water for a full week and then came in and said, you can have a cookie, a Chips Ahoy.
If you listen to Grateful Dead
Either
or Pink
Grateful,
Floyd.
Then I would choose Pink Floyd. Does that make you happy now?
I was just putting it out there what my preference would be.
Oh my God.
Because I know where you go.
No, you know what you've made me want to do now? You've made me want to go listen to the Grateful Dead to find something in the Grateful Dead's catalog. Because all I can think of, the first thing that pops into my head is, hello, is there anybody in there? And I go, oh my God, is a Chips Ahoy cookie really worth this?
Truckin'. That's in New Orleans.
God!
Truckin'.
Oh, we're off the rails, kids, but it's fun. This is what you get.
What were we talking about?
The Maestro and the Conquistador. Free-forming, as we always do, better than anybody else.
It's not always a good thing.
But we love talking about music. That's the thing.
Weren't we just talking about movies, though?
Yeah, but we're talking about a music movie. You know, and then we can go back into talking about The Wall, the movie, Pink Floyd.
That was just fucked up.
That wasn't a bad movie, though. I kind of dug it. I kind of liked it.
It was okay, but I preferred heavy metal.
Oh, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? And then we have to talk about the greatest rock and roll movies of all time. That's a topic for another day. That's a topic for another podcast. The greatest rock and roll movies ever. Heavy metal should be up there.
Yes,
heavy metal should be up there. We talked about the Beatles earlier. What about the Monkees? Head.
You got Tommy.
Yep, you got Tommy.
Quadrophenia.
Yep, and of course the Foo Fighters coming up with Studio 666.
That could be the perfect segue leading us into this whole diatribe.
Yeah.
So once we see Studio 666, then we can talk about
the greatest rock and roll movies of all time. Perfect.
Now, how many Elvis films do we throw in there, and do those count?
Is he singing? If he's singing in the movies, it counts.
Then that's damn near everything he's ever done.
Then they all count.
And that could be a subgenre in its own right.
But now, do you count movies where it's a fictional band, like Almost Famous with Stillwater, with Jason Lee?
And This is Spinal Tap.
This is Spinal Tap.
I think if
Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. See? Oh, yeah, Dave's right. We're going to have to mull on this, stew on this.
We will have to come up with the parameters.
I think he's right. When Studio 666 comes out, that will be the touchstone for
all
this
bets
debate.
are off, kids.
That will be the
all
touchstone for this debate.
Bets are off.
But right now we're going to break, and then we're going to talk about the revival of one of our favorite TV shows of all time. Thank God, Universal, NBC, the Peacock.
I don't think that's a thing.
What do you mean that's not a thing? That is a big thing. That's a conglomerate.
No! You missed the thing.
Oh, jeez, Dave threw something beyond my head, beyond my reasoning, beyond my imagination.
It's out of the movie.
We're going to talk about Psych 3. This is Gus.
Coming up. Stay tuned.
When the mindless zombies at the major sports networks won't leave you alone. When the forces of evil on local sports radio have you cornered. Load up the boomstick known as Sports Frenzy 2.0. Available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox. Kev and Dave will drive the dull and boring voices in your head away and offer you the sports salvation you need. New episodes drop every Thursday. And don't forget the weekend edition every Saturday, where the maestro and the conquistador might just review your favorite horror flick. Sports Frenzy 2.0. It's groovy.
I know, you know, it's Sports Frenzy 2.0. I know, you know, we're telling the truth. I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane. We're just having fun here.
Psych. This is Gus, the third movie from that brilliant show that was on USA Network.
And obviously, it was so brilliant, they had to keep doing movie upon movie upon movie.
8 wonderful seasons, and now a third movie from James Roday and Dooley Hill.
Yep. And Dave and I were talking about this. It's a shame that they're both locked in right now to the rat.
Yeah. Roday's stuck doing a million little things, and Dooley Hill stuck with the reinvented Wonder Years.
So at least they have the opt-out where they can do these Psych one-offs.
Yep, and we're already guaranteed a 4th Psych movie. Thank God. Great news for all you psychos out there.
So this is Psych 3. This is Gus. Just premiered last week on the Peacock.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yes, he got me. He got me on the last segment on that.
One of the many great lines.
There are so many in-jokes, cultural, pop references, things in this movie. Can you blame me for missing one? Not remembering one?
Oh, God.
This was, I've told Dave, this was the best of the Psych movies to date.
Yeah, and I have to give them a pass on the first one because they were already in production when Timothy Elmanson, who plays Carlton Lassiter, suffered a stroke, and they had to rewrite the whole film on the spot and redo it. And you could tell that it was just the spur of the moment trying to make up for it. And they definitely came back with the second one. But this third one is what we know and love from these two guys.
Yeah, this is top level Sean and Gus. From the Rob Zombie,
Willie Tyler and Lester.
There are so many great moments in this.
Oh, God. It was thoroughly and utterly enjoyable.
I mean, when you're in the first 5 minutes, you're already getting them going back and forth. Suck it! No, you suck it! No, you suck it!
You super flame suck it! How dare you!
They're trying to make an order, trying to figure out what to put a.
They're trying to help Lassiter solve a crime while putting together an order for
an enchilada in a burrito or something
something
like that.
stupid.
Empanada. Oh my God, this movie is so funny from beginning to end.
It did not disappoint.
I don't care
all.
if the budget was probably $500, but
you had everybody was in it.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant.
And like you said, Lassiter, they're kind of, I don't want to say stuck, but there are limitations to what they can do with him.
They're trying to work with him after the stroke.
Right.
And they've kind of written it into his character as being shot on the job with his recovery.
And of course, in this episode, that means Corbin Burnson has got to kind of be the nursemaid.
A little bit to kind of help him with his struggles, getting ready to not define yourself as a cop, but as a family man, that there's more to life.
Right. So, in a way, that helps the movie in that I think you take those two
it
off
evolves
to their
the
side.
characters a little bit and kind of gives them a new purpose and direction.
Right, but in the same way, that clears out the way for Sean and Gus and the women to
do
just
their
go
thing.
crazy, nutsy, cuckoo, and try to solve the crime that they are given.
Yep.
And it's just funnier than hell.
It is awesome. It did not disappoint, kids.
No.
Gus's fiance is pregnant, and she is not who he thinks she is at all.
No, there's a scene where Sean and Gus are going through all the wedding preparations at all these different goofy stores.
My God, how many cake plates did they have testing? Trying samples.
Trying on clothes. Yeah, I mean, it's just great.
I'm sorry, their fight in the men's room was the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I couldn't have expected more. It's 3.5 frenzies for me.
Exactly.
Just, it's brilliant. If you guys have not watched Psych, shame on you. Go back, start watching it from the beginning.
Ugh. One of the most brilliantly written shows.
It's got to be out there somewhere on one of these streaming networks. I imagine Peacock. I think Peacock's got to have it.
Yeah. It's an homage to your growing up in the 80s and all the references, cultural references throughout. It's,
of course, there's the obligatory appearance by Kurt Smith from Tears for Fears. Multiple times.
God rest his soul.
Trying to put together his own version of Wham.
Wham.
But without infringing on trademarks. So he's trying to misspell Wham.
Wham, wham. Oh, God.
The video, the music video at the end. If you
forgive us, we're reliving wonderful moments.
If you want to see Kurt Smith licking an ice cream sandwich in an obscene and erotic way, it's so funny.
Dooley Hill in a blonde 80s wig.
And the thing is, I need to go back and figure out
what the hell were they doing?
What video was that based on?
I know.
I need to find out what video that was based on. The parody video they do at the end. I'm like, is that Last Christmas by Wham? What is that supposed to be?
I think it was because it was a Christmas prior or prior Christmas or prior
Yeah.
holiday or something.
Prior holiday, yeah.
So it had to have been last Christmas.
Again, kids, watch the movie.
It's awesome.
Instead of listening to us laugh about it. But yeah, all I can think of was looking at Kurt Smith licking an ice cream sandwich. Oh my God. Oh, so much fun. 3.5 frenzies.
Watch.
Solid 3.5.
You gotta, if you're a psycho, it's must-see TV.
Oh my God. All right. I'm going to have to bring Dave down from his high. HBO Max is going to reboot Under Siege.
The
Steven
Seagal with the beautiful, gorgeous Erica Eleniak.
Yeah. Yeah, of course they are. Now, last week you were not here, so you did not hear my news about Roadhouse.
Do not fuck with my Roadhouse! That is my guilty pleasure movie.
I'm sorry I discussed this last week, but now obviously we're getting a reaction from Dave, so we'll have to redo this.
Don't fuck with Roadhouse.
They are going to redo Roadhouse, Dave. Guess who's going to star in
Dwayne fucking Johnson.
No, worse.
How could it get worse?
Once again, kids, I know we covered this last week, but we're getting Dave's live reaction, so deal with it. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, fuck that shit! That pansy-ass little bitch? No.
I told everybody last week the same thing.
Hell no.
I said, how can you redo Roadhouse? This was the one movie where Patrick Swayze was a god. You do not redo Roadhouse.
Patrick Swayze freaking kicked ass. Sam Elliott is his mentor. Couldn't have been better. No. Hell fucking no.
We have talked about this for decades. Years and years
Get
and
a
decades.
new fucking idea. This is an abomination of casting.
So we don't even know who's going to be in the Under Siege. They said they might consider bringing Seagal back in some kind of role.
Why?
If you're going to destroy it, just destroy it.
Yeah, don't even...
But same thing with Roadhouse. Don't fuck with Roadhouse. Don't.
That's a sacred fucking movie. That is my guilty pleasure movie. I don't care what anybody says about it. If it's on, I'm watching the damn thing.
So, do you want me to start sending you info on Jake Gyllenhaal?
Kiss my ass!
Autobiography?
Fuck you.
Maybe some headshots?
No, I don't need that off of Brokeback Mountain.
Well, maybe you should start listening to Taylor Swift since she's putting out like 10-minute songs about her breakup with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Guess
maybe
what?
Maybe that way you can get a bigger insight,
care.
more into his psyche.
La 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 la. You're talking and I'm not listening. La 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 la.
Oh boy, that turned out better than I could have ever hoped.
Oh no, they cannot frickin' do that.
All right.
Now I'm pissed.
One more sign of the apocalypse. Outside of the
I'm
fact
gonna
they're
have
actually
a damn aneurysm
they're
now.
redoing Roadhouse, which I agree with you is just pathetic. December the 16th, 2021 will go down as a date in infamy. We knew this was coming. Miss America will only be available on Peacock. They will not put the Miss America pageant on over-the-air TV anymore.
Guess what? I haven't watched a Miss America pageant in like 20 years.
Oh, Jesus. But there's something about the principalities involved here.
There are. This is an iconic...
No, let's put NYPD, NYFD, Emergency Squad, NY freaking.
Let's do all these stupid ass singing talent shows on network, and yet something that's an iconic institution of a pageant is going streaming.
Yeah, we can't call it a pageant anymore. Of course, that's derogatory. That term is derogatory. You cannot call it a pageant. A pageant is derogatory, David.
Then what the frick do you call it?
Competition.
That's even stupider.
It's the Miss America competition.
That's dumb.
I think it's dumb that you can't put that on regular TV anymore.
Are they going to wear thongs now?
Are you kidding me? I don't know.
Hell, you don't even have the swimsuit competition anymore.
We're going to get that one chick up there from like 5 or 6 years ago that was like...
With a dong?
No, how do you solve the energy crisis? Well, I think that maybe people in Saudi Arabia who are like real people are maybe going to figure out a way to, live with a... Do you remember that? Oh, she was just awful.
Why do you think I not stopped watching that trope?
But just because we don't watch it doesn't mean it shouldn't be on TV.
Agreed.
Because listen, if every channel had everything we wanted 24/7, our brains would explode.
It would be called
It'd be like Miami Vice.
It would be called
Frenzy. My name is Earl. Terriers? What the hell?
It would be called Frenzy TV.
Yeah, but that'd be one channel. I'm talking about what if every channel all across the spectrum had
the Frenzy Network?
One channel I could handle. Yes, we would be able to deal with that.
Terrier, all right, maybe we need to become
Vice,
media moguls now.
All right. Time for
I'm sick of streaming bullshit.
I know, so we'll move on to our moments of silence.
We haven't even talked about Tacoma FD. Eddie's exes.
With the Pedaltron?
Yes.
Eddie's exes? Which is the one show we've got left.
I know. Thank God the chief did not file any of the marriage licenses.
Well, the thing that scared me is the other guys are trying to win that Pedaltron competition.
To get their one-on-one workout.
Oh, my God. When the one guy... Oh, my God, he gets on there with no seat.
No seat, no pedals.
And I'm thinking, oh, my God, that's going to feel like I'm in prison in the shower and I drop the soap.
It's going to be a most uncomfortable position and not the back seat of a Volkswagen.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
But wasn't it appropriate that it was Eddie that wound up with the one-on-one?
It's still, it's to me, the funniest show out there next to the vampires.
Yes.
The vampires are the funniest. This is number 2. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way.
No. All right.
So now, moments of silence.
Moments of silence. Peter Aykroyd, brother of Dan Aykroyd. Younger brother has passed away. Former Saturday Night Live cast member and writer.
I did not remember he was in the cast.
Yeah, very, very
1 year.
1 year. And then he co-wrote Nothing But Trouble with Dan.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, underrated flick with Dan Aykroyd playing a judge in Volcavania, John Candy playing dual roles, Chevy Chase, Demi Moore. Humpty Hump.
Those of you who think that what you're seeing on Saturday Night Live right now is the be-all, end-all, you have no idea. Now, Peter Aykroyd obviously came in after the original cast broke up.
Right.
And there was that 3 or 4 year gap where they were trying to piece everything back together. And
it's after the original Not Ready for Prime Timers left. That's before you wound up getting Eddie
Billy
Murphy, Billy
Crystal.
Crystal, Joe Piscopo.
Right. This was the whole Charles Rocket when he dropped an F-bomb and got kicked off. And Charles Rocket ended up making a pretty decent career out of that.
Yeah.
But there was that gap there.
Yeah.
And I think he fell in there.
Yeah.
But obviously, thoughts and prayers out to
the Aykroyd family.
Yep. I've got a couple here that I'm gonna try to stump Dave on. Number 1, David Frischberg. David Frischberg.
I know that name. Why do I know that name?
He's a musician. But he's most famous for something you and I both adore and love. Maybe just me. I don't know. Maybe you have just a cold, black heart.
I've been accused of that.
He wrote a song for a show on Saturday morning TV that you and I both grew up with. Now, he's a jazz musician. He was, just a really generally talented guy. But there is one claim to fame he has.
Schoolhouse Rock.
God damn, how'd you know that? God damn it!
I knew that name from somewhere. School frickin' House Rock.
Jesus Christ, people. How am I supposed to stump the man? I'm waiting for his head to swell like Megamind.
This fella's for me.
David Frischberg wrote I'm Just a Bill for Schoolhouse Rock. Great job by the Conquistador. Exceptional.
You know I'm a Bill.
Exceptional.
A lonely old Bill.
The Big Blue W? Wow, I am impressed beyond belief with you right now. Great job. Yes, David Frischberg wrote one of the greatest songs ever on Schoolhouse Rock, I'm Just a Bill. Did you have Art LaFleur? I don't want to step on your toes.
Yes, I did. Of Sandlot.
And Field of Dreams.
And Field of Dreams.
Great character actor.
Always good. He was in a lot of other things.
All right, my other... again, I hate to say guess the moment of silence, but Lou Cattell. He has 2 claims to fame that you should know. Lou Cattell, Cuttell, passed away this week. 2 very, very opposite claims to fame.
Cattell's not ringing a bell.
All right. You want me to tell you? I'll give you one.
Give me one and I might get the other.
Cosmo Kramer got the wrong license plate.
The ass man?
Lou Cattell was the original ass man. Lou Cattell was the ass man. But now he is also known for something else. And this is another great pop culture sports frenzy reference. You're never going to get this.
I won't get it.
He was Amazing Larry on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, for the love of God. Good God.
But of course, he'll always be the ass man to us.
1 in a million, Doc. 1 in a million.
No, that's Fusilli. That's the Fusilli cherry. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Time to move on. As we always do. Pivot. To our
dumbass of the week.
Oh, this has been a fun episode. I'm just having a good time.
All right. Madonna.
Oh, Lord.
has come out on her Instagram with another bedroom baring her boobs, spreading her legs in a thong photo shoot that we've seen in her sex book.
Isn't she, like,
Disturbing beyond
60
belief.
years old now?
63
Oh,
does not
God.
look good.
Oh, God.
And she is being raked over the coals by all her fans, saying enough is enough. You cannot pull this crap anymore. It's the same stuff you do over and over. We don't want it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's not a pretty pictures.
Oh. I remember when she was younger and she did the Playboy spread.
And it
she had
wasn't
the hair
hairy
in the
armpit.
armpits. Oh, Lord. There is nothing.
Madonna is done. You're over. Nobody cares anymore. Bye-bye.
Well, I was going to say, for all the sports frenzy female groupies out there, please shave your armpits. We don't like hairy armpits on our women. Oh, my God. That is the most unattractive thing in the world, is a hairy armpit on a woman. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
If they said either everybody has hairy armpits or everybody shaves, I'd shave my armpits. I'd be shaving my armpits in a second. Oh, my God.
No, that Madonna needs to go away.
Oh, wasn't she supposed to? Wasn't she supposed to? Wasn't she the one that said, if Donald Trump got elected, I'm going to move out of the country? Oh, but she did not. Liar. Hypocrite.
There you go.
Moving on from the ugly, disparaging, disgusting image you put in my head
You're
of
welcome.
Madonna, now I move on to something better. Well, and then I'll move on to something worse. Because this is going to be the theme of our dumbasses of the week, unfortunately, is pop culture women. It looks like.
Oh, Lord, help us.
Everybody knows how I feel about Kim Kardashian.
Oh, God.
The one woman that actually makes plastic surgery work. But, Kim, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Kim Kardashian is the latest beautiful woman, along with Kate Beckinsale, to fall under the evil spell of Pete Davidson. What the fuck is this guy got, Dave, that none of us have?
A dick 3 feet long?
He looks like the fucking Joker.
I know. The goofiest looking mother.
He is now dating Kim Kardashian. He dated Kate Beckinsale.
I don't get it.
My fucking top 10 of all time. And this idiot, this tattooed, monkey-looking doofus.
He can't even grow a decent mustache.
What the hell does he have going for him?
I don't know. I don't know.
And this is why I do not date. I would love for 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 or 50 or 5,000 you women out there to send us a message and tell me what's so appealing about Pete frickin' Davidson. I don't see it.
I got nothing.
Now, unfortunately, I have to move back to the Madonna realm.
Cool.
Remember Tiffany?
Yeah. I Think We're Alone Now remake.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, have you seen her lately?
Not in the last 10 years.
You wouldn't be happy.
No.
Tiffany recently
not age well.
Was playing to a crowd in Melbourne, Florida, and was cursing and swearing them out, and she looks awful. It looks like she's put on 100 pounds.
Oof.
If you have not kept yourself in shape, if you are not looking that good, don't curse and swear at your fans.
Wow. Yeah. No. Oof.
Yes, Dave Real Time has just looked up those pictures.
Yeah. You can't go
And
there.
I think that's recent. I seem to recall 6-7 years ago she didn't look like that. I thought she was actually in pretty decent shape. Because didn't she and Debbie Gibson like go out on tour or something together?
Yeah, and they both did the Playboy thing and looked pretty decent.
Oh boy, not Tiffany now though.
Yeah, not now. That is wow.
You have visited the Sbarro at the mall a few too many times, Tiffany.
Oof. Wow.
Well, you had to bring up Madonna, so I had to do this to you. So how do you feel now?
Depressed?
The Pete Davidson thing depresses me more.
I know.
I mean, Jesus God. I just need to know why. I just need to know why.
And on that note,
I need to do a Philip Marlowe deep dive investigation into this to find out what women find intriguing about Pete Davidson.
just don't go full Castro.
He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
Have a great Turkey Day. Be close to those you love and care for.
Travel safe.
Fuck the rest.
We'll catch you next week.
Double concert reviews next week. We love you.